So if you don't know, there are actually some Dark Ops challenges for secret calling cards in the Black Ops 7 beta. There's at least 2 that we know of right now, one for multiplayer and one for zombies. Going to walk you guys through how to get each one in this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, subscribe for more, and let's go ahead and jump straight into this. Let's start with multiplayer. All you got to do for this one is play a lot. And when you play a lot, you're hopefully going to kill a lot. If you kill a lot, then you're going to get enough kills to get this one right here. So what am I talking about? Well, there's a secret calling card, if you will, a Dark Ops calling card, if you will, which is called Best of the First. And all you got to do is get 1,000 eliminations in multiplayer during the beta. It's honestly not super impressive. It doesn't take a lot of skill. It just means you got to have a lot of time on your hands to get it done. Even if you're a bad player, obviously if you're a bad player, you're going to need more time than if you're a good player. If you're a good player, obviously, you're going to get it done a little bit quicker than a bad player. But that's the first one. That one's for multiplayer. Again, very easy to get done. One of the weapons that are probably like S tier. So, for example, Peacekeeper's pretty good, but it kicks like a mule. It's not my favorite gun to use. One of the ones people are using a lot of is the Dravic 45, especially if you have some good attachments on it. I'm only level 9 at the moment because I've been using a different gun, which is the M15. So the M15 is one I would recommend, kind of like the base, if you will. That's the starting out weapon. Eventually you can try to use a Dravic 45, or if you do have if you do put on overkill, what you can do is you can actually throw on a secondary weapon. So you can have something like the M15, which is more of an AR for, longer distance, shots. And then on the secondary, you can have the Dravic or whatever other one. Again, I would say the M15 is maybe like an A tier. The Dravic 45 is probably like an S tier gun. And the Peacekeeper is probably like pushing S tier as well. Maybe it's kind of like between the M15 and the Dravic. Those are the top 3 that I would recommend. I'd recommend obviously having dexterity on as a must. Beyond that, put on whatever you want. I like to have stim shots, semtex. That's kind of what I have. I was messing around with active camo. You can mess around with the field upgrades that you would like to mess around with and the other 2 perk slots. I like to put on lightweight and fast hands just so I'm a little bit quicker. But you can put on whatever you want. Maybe that helps you get those 1,000 kills a little bit faster in multiplayer as well. If you have any other class setup tips and tricks, let us know. Again, this is subject to change throughout the beta as they tune things and tweak things and update and blah blah blah. This is as of the beta on currently the 4th of October. So the second one is going to be in zombies. Now if you don't know what zombies, it's just survival mode. So it's on one specific map, which is farm, or one specific area of the actual map, Ashes of the Damned, which has a location called farm, and you're kind of just on that one location. You got to get to round 50, and if you do that, you're going to get this calling card right here called Tip of the Spear. This was a little bit more impressive because it is obviously one that requires a little bit more skill. Now, if you're obviously really good at zombies, you might say, it's not that hard to get. But if you're not a huge zombies player, maybe you don't know how to get it. I'm going to try to give you guys some tips and tricks. If you want to watch my entire playthrough for the whole 50 rounds up till exfil in round 51, I'll link it down in the description below. I posted that video on this channel, so check it out. I'll link it down in the description below. You guys can check it out. But what do you do here? Well, first of all, you want to get set up. Now, for me, I personally like trying to get the Raygun Mark II out of the box. The Raygun Mark II is a very good gun, better than the initial Raygun. And when you pack a punch it, of course, it packs even more of a punch. And what's cool is you get daily gobblegums. So make sure to use those gobblegums, especially the Perkaholic. That'll give you all of the perks right out of the gate, right at the very beginning of the game, which is very helpful because you have Juggernaut, you're gonna have double tap, you're gonna have all these things. Double tap, basically like every shot fires double the amounts of bullets. So make sure that you guys get that Perkaholic popped. So let me walk you guys through this to get to round 50. I'll give you guys a couple tips and tricks while we're in here. So the first thing you want to do is do the objectives. You got to clear the infestation on this. Then it's going to make you go into the barn over here and flip a switch. I'm going to open up the barn, and when you flip a switch in here, it'll tell you where it is. It's going to be basically upstairs. You're going to flip this switch over there after, and then you're going to have access to the Pack-a-Punch machine, which is going to be over here, which is going to be very, very useful to getting Pack-a-Punch. Over here is going to be where you're going to have your crafting table, where you can go craft new self-reses. So if you go down once, you're going to basically use your self-res. If you're on solo, you'll have a self-res. You can use it. And then you're going to have to craft another one. You can craft up to 3 maximum. So keep that in mind. So that's where your pack-a-punch is going to be. I like to grab this shotgun at the very, very beginning, which is right here. In this barn right here, by the way, there's a max or resupply ammo cache there. If you open up this, usually you'll find the mystery box right here. Again, try to get the ray gun Mark II. There's the chest armor. This one's a level 2. And then once you get the level 2, the level 3 you can buy over here on the wall as well. Every few rounds, you're going to have one of these kind of rounds, which is sort of like the equivalent of a dog round. And what's going to happen here is all these Ravager guys are going to spawn. You know, they're very close to the ground, and they're very, very quick, especially later round. They are very, very, very quick late round. So just, you know, be wary of that. They're a little bit psycho. And then I'll give you the max ammo at the end. This trap right here is very useful. It spins a sort of saw, and it attracts zombies. It's going to cost you 1,000 at some point. You know, you're going to want to use that. I like to stand on this thing when it's active, and it's basically like a monkey bomb. It just plays music and attracts zombies, and it'll help you annihilate a ton of zombies. But there's going to be a point where there's going to be elites that spawn. There's going to be these bears that spawn. They have like these little fungal things, kind of looking like those actually. And you got to pop those to kill it a little bit quicker. You can kill it without popping those, but then it'll take a little bit longer. So that's what you're going to want to do with that. It's also, you know, they're going to spawn like these bee things, swarms. They're going to come after you. Which are really annoying because they're bullet sponges. The other thing too is that if the bear swipes at you with its claws, it'll kind of poison you for a brief moment and do like damage over time. So be wary of that. Eventually the what you call it, you know, the guys with the multiple heads that are from Black Ops 6, I forget what they're called, the elites. They're on I'm drawing a blank on the name. The prison. Anyways, I can't remember what the prison was called at the top of my head. I'm drawing a huge blank. But anyways, they're gonna spawn as well. The ghasts, something ghasts, I can't remember. Again, I'm drawing a blank on their name. But anyways, they're going to spawn at some point as well when you get to the later round. So be wary of that. The elites are not too bad. Less elites spawning, I think, in this than you would have in something like in Black Ops 6. In here. So again, you're going to, every day, you're going to have Gobblegum. You can see like Gobblegum that you can just use. See, I got a Gobblegum awarded right now. Anyways, one of the first ones you should have is Perkaholic. Use that Perkaholic and it'll give you basically every perk. If for some reason you don't have a Perkaholic, you can go up here in the upstairs area of this house, and there is a Wonder Fizz, if I can get to it. I'm gonna die, but anyways, there's a Wonder Fizz right there. I already used my self-res. You can use that Wonder Fizz and you're gonna be pretty much good to go. Also, in the basement, so there's actually a way to get to the basement from either the barn or from the, I think it was the back of that house. You can go into the basement and there's going to be a machine where you can upgrade the rarity of your gun. And that's what you're going to want to go over there as well. And there's not really streaks. Streaks will sometimes drop, like RCXD, if I drop like once my 51 rounds. But for the most part, they're not going to really drop too often. So that's kind of my advice. And then just kind of train out there in that main area is what I would do, and try not to get clipped on anything. And if you do that, you'll pretty much be good to go. Again, it's going to require, you know, some amount of skill, but those are some of my tips and tricks. Again, like I said, the main gun I would get is the ray gun Mark II, fully pack punch that. The secondary gun that I was using personally was the Peacekeeper. I believe it was actually in that house that I just died in downstairs in the back, if I remember correctly. But anyways, I was using the Peacekeeper. There's probably a better secondary weapon, but one thing I will say about this game is that when you get to the higher rounds, the weapons they're just bad. The scaling sucks in this game. That's one thing that was bad about Black Ops 6, and this is also bad about Black Ops 7. So don't like that, but anyways, that's pretty much the gist of it. Those are the tips and tricks I can give you. If you want to see this in action, see what I was doing, again, you can go watch and skim through to whatever portion of my full entire playthrough of the 51 rounds, which I'll link down in the description below. But hopefully this guide helps you get both of the Secret Dark Ops Challenge, calling cards for Black Ops 7. Again, the multiplayer one's super easy. Just spend a lot of time, get 1,000 kills. This one requires a little bit more skill. So hopefully this helps you out. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more. If you have any other tips or tricks for everyone else trying to get these done, especially the round 51, leave them down in the description below. Again, if you have any questions or any additional thoughts, things that I left out, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, leave a like, subscribe for more. Till the next one, game on. I'll see you guys later.